I'm Ceil. I'm 16. I'm really cold. And today I'm going to be teaching guys on how not to pick up girls.
So, 2 weekends ago, I was standing outside a Japanese bistro waiting for a taxi. So imagine it's 9 p.m., dark, I'm standing on the side of the road next to my 5'2" friend. And suddenly, 2 men on a motorcycle swerve by, stop right in front of us, yell, "Woohoo!" and then drive off. Funny, right? But I felt as if I was being undressed by strangers decades older than me at 9 p.m. on the side of the road. And just last weekend, I was walking from Subway back into Nichida, and I hear, I turn to my left, assuming it was a cat, and I see an old man smirking at me. And just 2 days ago, after practice, I was walking my dog outside the U.S. Embassy compound, and I hear, confused whether this noise was addressing me or my dog, I turn around and I see 10 pairs of construction worker eyes leering in my direction. The truth is, none of these men called me sexy. None of them asked me to go home with them, none of them asked me for my number, they didn't call me any misogynistic terms, try to touch me, or sexually insult me in any way. Instead, what they did was use animalistic noises to communicate dirty and sexual motives. These men call out to women like me as if we are an inferior group of humans pleading for male approval, as if we are exclusively toys for male eyes, male hands, and male manipulation. These noises turn women into this transparent object of sexual beauty and desire. By whistling, hooting, and hollering, they were still communicating an idea. It doesn't matter that they didn't use words recognized in the English dictionary. People think by sounding something out and rather saying it, they're getting away with it, but they're not. It's still communicating this idea of verbal harassment. While researching my topic, I stumbled across the works of a man called Jason Kurtz, and he said something very interesting. He said, when we think of racial issues in the US, we think of Latino, Black, or Asian issues. So when we think of issues regarding sexual orientation, we think of gay or bisexual issues. So when we think of gender issues, we think of women issues. And I think this is the core of the problem in gender issues, where the dominant group is being disregarded. And I can assure you that gender issues are not only women's issues. So I released a survey a couple weeks ago, and this was a survey to the high school students, and these are responses from both males and females for ages 14 to 18. When I filtered out the survey about who had ever been catcalled, you can see more than 80% of these responses were female. When I filtered out the question, do you think catcalling is a compliment, by female answers, you can see around 50% say no, catcalling isn't a compliment. The second largest cohort said sometimes if they do it in the right manner. But let's not forget that females who had been catcalled and had never been catcalled answered the survey. Keep this image in mind. These are the male answers, significantly different from the female answers. More than 50% say sometimes it's okay to catcall, but the second largest cohort said yes. But how can you quantify and qualify what is the right manner for each individual? How can you say that, yes, if I catcall that person, it's okay, and if I catcall that person, it's not okay? In 2000, the UN held their Millennium Summit Conference. In this conference, they created 8 different development goals. The first, eradicate extreme hunger and poverty. The second, achieve universal primary education. The third, promote gender equality and empower women. This came above, reducing child mortality, improving maternal health, and all these important development goals. And this is because when you empower women and promote gender equality, there are better social circumstances. But how can we do this? when even the most developed parts of our society, like ISB, can't recognize gender inequality. The goal date, 2015, the year I graduated. This is not the world that I want to grow up in. But this is. I'm 16, living in an affluent community, surrounded by intellectual and capable peers. But not even the wealthiest of places and powerful of people can protect me from being exposed to some form of inequality. So tell me, what is it like for that Latina girl to commute to school every day through her slum community? What is it like for that petite Indian woman to board the bus to her night shift? And what is it like, even for my best friend, to commute to school within Bronx? So boys, if you were still wondering on how not to pick up girls, this would be it. Thank you.